But one thing that really struck me over the course of the last 2 years is the amount of team members and resourcing necessary to pull this off. Like 5 years ago was considerable. You needed a whole slew of different skill sets from core data engineering for ETL pipelines to individuals that could be systems architects, folks that could understand cloud deployment, resourcing configurations. So essentially, most companies were just locked out. Essentially, if you didn't have all of those skill sets, so really only the biggest technology companies and things were doing that. At this stage, though, there's been such a proliferation of different tools and capabilities around the data cloud that it's made it possible. In one case, I saw for a small e-commerce retailer that had a data team size of one. Now, like an individual that was well versed in a lot of the technologies out there, but they were able to, pay for Fivetran to actually load the data from a variety of sources in an ELT based architecture. So they didn't have to do any transforms before it landed, in their case, into BigQuery. And then from, within BigQuery, they use some programmatic modeling with DBT. And then going from DBT to creating sort of that single view to be made available for reporting. They had, in their case, because they had BigQuery, they had Looker as the visualization layer for that. That individual was actually able to build something, and it wasn't overnight. Certainly, it took months and a few quarters that the rest of the organization could use, and that like required sort of like not a whole full-time team to maintain. Now, this was a smaller e-commerce platform. Obviously, if you scale and you're talking about a large B2B advertiser, they will have a team of folks that do that. And I think that's where the rise of this role I've heard is called analytics engineer, BI engineer. There's a few other names for it. Essentially, has come with the tool set for folks that maybe previously wrote SQL on an ad hoc basis to fulfill certain reporting requirements, and are now able to go deeper into the stack to provide things that are actually data engineered pipelines with testing and freshness constraints, primary key constraints, things that help you build an enterprise view that the marketing team can really rely and trust upon, which is really the key like feature that I think most of those projects struggle with at some level is, do they have buy-in from the marketing team to understand like this actually is a source of truth that I want to use, and that's what's going to get them over the friction, Jeff, that you were talking about of, but what I have kind of works for me today. I'm able to just pull directly from a source or two. Maybe it's in Excel, maybe it's in some other CSV format, and then like work with it myself without having to trust what another team's built.
Yeah, maybe one addition. There's sort of a special case of product-led growth companies, software
Mm-hmm.
companies that may have free editions that try to upsell to paid editions. There's generally already like a team that focuses on the product data. And I think one driver for climbing on this maturity ladder is to make better use of the product data in your marketing and
Mm-hmm.
to better target people who are most likely to convert. And there, of course, is a collaboration between the product data team and the marketing team that is necessary to move forward on the maturity level.